I'm not impressed, I'm blown away. We're not supposed to be able to do this in the ocean. I actually don't know what to compare this boat with. Welcome to, well, actually quarantine is just around the corner. I'm not sure what this one's called. I think it's Little Manly over there. Anyway, somewhere in between quarantine and Little Manly. Very nice spot. Hope you enjoy the photos. Dan Jones is my name. You're watching Dan's Boat Life and we're on the Valhalla 41. This thing is, as I said, actually I'm struggling to find a boat to compare this with because it's in a category of its own. We've just been belting around at up to 63 knots in the flat water and just gliding along the waves in the ocean at 40 knots like it was completely nothing. This hull, it's amazing. It's truly amazing. That's the main point I have to pass off to you guys right now. Any boat you've driven, just put it over here somewhere and then put this Valhalla 41 over there because they're just not even comparable. So let's just discover this boat in greater detail. If you're interested in this content, by the way, subscribe, give us a like, share it with your mates. I'd be grateful. We've got the V10s, the new Mercs. It's the first time I've actually driven these motors. They just seem like any other Merc. They go fast, they sound cool. You can press the button, make them nice and throaty, suck a little bit of juice. We talk about that in the test drive video, separate to this one. So just keep watching. We'll link to that at the end of this video. But she's rated to up to quad 450s and we're running the quad 400s. So we've got an 8.3 ton light ship and probably pushing 10 tons. It says about 9.5 in the specs, fully loaded. So about 2,100 litres of fuel. And I'll tell you what, she goes. But just come and have a look at the construction out the back here. And can you see this timber? Can you guys see that? See how lovely and highly finished that is? Well, it's not bloody timber. I thought it was real. They've painted this. It's incredible. Wait till you see when we get up to the bow. They've done the same thing. So there's the construction processes involved in these Valhallas truly are second to none. We're talking vacuum infusion, top-notch quality everywhere I've seen on this boat. And I did sneak down on Friday to have a little squiz before today, Monday, of the actual test. And everywhere you look, somebody is caring about the quality and the finish of this thing. But that is an example of what we're going to see as we make our way through this boat because it's very, very well done. So for all you fishos, I think they said it was like 50 gallons. I don't know what a gallon is. Anyway, that's a big fish box. We can cycle water through. What is interesting is that there's a device underneath here. I forget the name of it, but it actually slows the water down so it doesn't kill your fish because apparently that's important for fishermen watching. I'm sure you're going to jump into the comments and educate me more about this, but the high speeds of this boat would send a jet of water into this fish box and probably descale the fish at speed. So this thing actually captures the water. This thingamajiggy in here, it controls the pressure and sends the water in there in a controlled manner. Quite sensible. But just have a look. Just get the camera down there and just have a look at the quality. Look at this manifold. This is just, there's three fuel tanks on this boat, so you've got a center and 2 wing tanks. Just look at the quality of that. Then the through hull fittings, you can see we've got what looks like a fake floor sitting over the hull. It's all glassed in, but everything's just incredibly well done. And that's gonna be, again, the theme that we see as we make our way around this boat. All the hatches are just so well done. I'm now gonna show you, it's spooling down. We've got the Seakeeper. If you haven't experienced a Seakeeper on a boat of this style or any boat for that matter, for the money you're spending overall, just buy it. They are so great because you are going to have those people who aren't used to boats rocking around and they get uncomfortable. That just negates it all. This is not running off a Jenny. It's running, see this, off a battery. I assume that's lithium. I don't actually know, but I would say it is by looking by the size. And then we've got our breakers on the port side, which are linked into the Seakeeper. But it's all straight on to the forward and aft beams in terms of the structural integrity, so it's built into the boat. This is clearly not done as an afterthought, is what I'm trying to convey to you there. So that's cool. Okay, so self-draining, because I could see some scuppers, some drains just going out on either side, underneath these two stainless pieces on each side. And if you are not in fishing mode, you can put it in social mode. This would be fun at high speed, but just make sure you're holding onto your hats, because you're not going to have any wind protection as we do in the middle of the boat, and we have tested that, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, but that works. We've got an engine flush just here, and that will cycle through, I think it's about 15 minutes of fresh water on each motor, and it individually selects each one, flushes it out, and then goes on to the next. So it just sort of does it all for you. Fair leads, cleats, rod holders, so that's all pretty obvious stuff there. We've got another pull-out seat on the starboard side, matching what we just saw on the port. And then here's one of the 4 fish boxes. So just get that for size. We can see the drain down aft, and we're replicating that on starboard, on port, sorry, which would be a good place to store some fenders as well. Next thing, I don't know if we're going to be able to capture this, but get the camera down and just try and have a look. Can you see underneath here? So the foam has got this mesh underneath here, and that's, hopefully you saw that, but essentially any moisture is clearly going to, it appears that they've designed it in such a way that moisture is going to make its way out of the foam. So if you leave the boat uncovered, or it's just building up moisture in the upholstery, it's going to drain with gravity out. So that seems like it's been built from the beginning with longevity in mind. So that's cool. Now, on the port side, just behind you there, Rod, we have nice opening door. Boom, boom. I suspect you'd be able to option or fit a ladder here somewhere, just by the looks of that. I don't know the answer to that, so leave a comment below if you do, but that's giving us nice, easy access in terms of the dive door setup. Now, I'm just going to focus, you get back over on this side so you can have the nice background. This is a great place to socialise, sit underway. You boys were saying it's a bit of a weird feeling sitting here and not looking forward, because the speeds that this thing is capable of doing. So, anyone getting into a boat like this, make sure you've had a bit of experience. Don't just buy this as your first fast boat, because it's like going from model rocketry to one of Elon Musk's rockets. It's that amount of difference. You really probably do need to know what you're doing before you jump behind the helm of one of these. So let's just have a look. This just looks like all tackle, fishing tackle storage. Again, I'm not a fisherman, but a lot of stuff going on there. And then we have a little ledge above that, and that's all constructed out of plastic, so nothing's gonna rot there, so that seems logical. I've got drink holders in between rod holders all the way across here, and drink holders just here. Oh, that's on a gas strut, and that's clearly an esky as well, but a good place for storage. Why don't you go forward, Rod, and then look back here, because this is just a work of art. Look at these seats. These are just super gorgeous. You can select what upholstery you want with Valhalla, and they are just going for the top-notch stuff, basically. It's going to last the longest amount of time compared to any boat that you would have out there in terms of leaving it exposed into the weather. But we've just got some cross-stitching here. We've got some leather there. Beautiful high gloss. Lots of coats of varnish on that. I think it's about 9 coats from memory. And you do have the electric forward and aft. So that's this one. This is the middle seat. Then we have another button over on this side as well. In terms of the space we have at the helm, well, you have plenty, because I'm 5'7". Now with my arm fully outstretched, I'm touching the roof there. So 6'5" guys. Actually, why don't you come at my eye line and let's look forward and then put the camera up. So now put the camera up to this height. So that's going to be a 6'5" bloke. That's what you're going to be seeing. So next thing worth pointing out, this Perspex, I think it's Perspex, or it could, what is that? It looks like glass, but it's got quite an aggressive curve on it. I don't know what it is because there's no distortion looking through it. So I think it is glass, but it's unusual to see such a curved piece of glass achieving such a perfect curve like that. I'm going to say it's glass, but it could be something else. But as hopefully you guys can see as we look through, there's zero distortion. And I think that's probably a safety factor because a boat that will go this fast, you really need to be scanning the horizon and looking around you to make sure you're doing it safely. And your last thing you want is distortions in your vision. So having clear vision and also having no wind vortices. We had 0 wind disturbances on us from this position and these 2 seats. I was wearing my hat, I would have noticed because it would have blown off my head. So it was totally fine. Somebody has thought about the aerodynamics of this windscreen at the high speed because you know, it's not just hydrodynamics, it's aerodynamics you have to consider when you have a boat that goes this fast. So that's quite interesting. The dash, very American, like 1, 2, 3 big screens. I know they love it, and it's going to be popular here as well. These are just SIMRAD displays. I'm sure you can do whatever you want, and we've got engine diagnostics, navigation, and we've got the sounder, and then multifunction displays, so you can put whatever you like. All your boat systems across here, nice stainless switches, dual cup holders on either side, zip wakes on this one. We've got the engine diagnostics in the middle. We've got the Sleipner bow thruster just here. This is the Optimus joystick, so that's the you know, you have many options. You have the Mercury, you have the Yamaha. Optimus, new to me. I'm sure it's not new to a lot of you. I like it. I was impressed. You got take command, boost, and then you got a hold position. I don't know what the P does. I didn't actually try that, but what I did find, basically just sliding it across. I probably shouldn't have done that, should I? It's try. There we go. Great. Thanks. Sliding it across. Thanks, Rod. It really does slip the boat sideways, holding its position relatively well. I find the Mercury system wants to put a little bit of a turn on the boat, and so it doesn't feel as natural. If you're not used to driving joysticks, this is a nice and easy one to operate. Mercury throttles, pretty stock standard. You got some options with these steering wheels with Valhalla. So I've seen some carbon fiber ones, some matte black ones, and this is more of the silver vibe. Just pay attention to the rubber underneath the wheel, and then this turning knob, which has got some, must have some ball bearings in it because it's very easy. The steering is possibly the best steering system I've ever experienced on a boat in my life. That's all I can say. It was incredible. It's so light. Matched with this hull type, doing the speeds we were just doing, you're asking yourself, how is this possible? That's what you're doing. It was so crazy. So looking in here, we've got Icon VHF, windlass control. We've got some more lights operation, bilge alarm just there. I like how that's keeping the dash clean. Obviously, this is a place to throw keys and phones as well. We've got some phone charging inside this starboard one, and even the hinges are good quality stainless steel. They're not cheaping out anywhere. And as you close the hatches, they're touching on some rubbers. Below the helm, we've got our engine start. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's our safety. This is a boat you absolutely would hook up the safety, again, because of those speed potentials. We did use them today. I recommend you do the same. Underneath here, so that's obviously a foot pad, but a good storage well, and for places like the instrument covers. And I would even throw some shoes and thongs in there as well. I won't slam that. So underneath here, this is the Optimus control. So just have a look in there, and we got a bit of space, and you can see the back end of the drawers on the port side. And then as I go above here, there's a neat little drawer just below the helm. Good place for a chamois, a few bits and pieces. Now over here, let's come over and just have a quick look on the starboard side. We have more tackle storage. See, those are actually a little bit bigger than the ones we saw before. And then speakers, looks like JL Audio speakers. They are dotted around the boat, but I want to stay focused on this rooftop because I'm not finished. Rocket launchers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across the top there are facing LED lights. The powder coated black aluminium is kind of shiny finish, so that's quite nice. But you have more systems up the top here. So we have a Simrad autopilot. That's the Optimus head control. We got the Fusion stereo just here. This is the Seakeeper, and this is our VHF primary control, but we have the unit to talk through just there. We have a downlight and a compass there, and 2 downlights in here, but look how they've done it, and beautifully flush. So no moisture's gonna get in there. That's been designed and built for longevity. Next thing, the roof structure itself, it's clearly foam core, vacuum infusion, this whole boat, guys. So everything is strong and light, and you do feel that it's noticeable. When you've driven the amount of boats that I've driven, it's something that immediately speaks to you. But this roof structure here, we've got the radar, we've got the VHF, there's our all-round white lights. So you've got some more communications up the front. And then you can even see these navigation lights. See how they're built into the unit? Just see that? That's nice and sleek. So that'll be an LED number. And then you've got some forward-facing LEDs here and here. Obviously, we've got some fishing gear up the top there. I'm not going to harp on about that because I'm not a fisherman. So that does something for you fishing blokes. Or it hangs Australian flags on Australia Day. So, next thing, just focus on this piece of what looks like beautiful timber right here. See these lines? Now let's just run up forward and let's just look for the join. Where do we see it? Just here. Look at that. Focus on that, where the timber has joined up. Well, it's not bloody timber. It's painted. How good's that? Look at the attention to detail there. So that's fiberglass. So longevity, practicality, I think that is fantastic. And that just blew me away when you told me that's what it was. I thought that's awesome. Pop-up cleats all around. One of the 3 fillers for the petrol. Not ideal that the drain gets straight to the ocean. I'd probably have a rag ready in case of overflow because that's not so good for the fishies, but it is what it is. A little bit of storage in here. Got some more speakers moving forward. And now we get to the forward fish box. And we're going to have one on starboard, one on port. And that actually has more length going forward than after. It stops just here. Okay, now we'll have a look at the storage we have on the sun lounge. I'm just going to jump on the sun lounge first. So you do have these armrests. Now I will often advise people to avoid sitting on these sun lounges at high speeds because a boat's getting a little bit of vertical. It will get a bit of vertical acceleration at high speed, and that could be dangerous because if you hit a wave, you could eject your passengers out of the boat. So that would be less than ideal. You'd probably end up on some other YouTube channels. But I'm going to say it's pretty safe on this thing. We hit some waves at some incredible speeds, 55 knots, and it was just like you're on a cushion of air. We just hit these waves and the thing decelerated and then woof, off we went again. You could sit in here and it would be like a roller coaster, but a safe roller coaster experience. And I, at the helm, would not be worried that I'm going to eject you out of the thing and hurt someone. I don't recommend doing it until you know what you're doing, but I'm just saying it's possible. So let's get in underneath here. Now, there should be nice little storage area in here for putting bits and pieces, as you can see. And then we've got some more storage just under here, which is clearly an esky. You got a drain in there, but you could use that as a storage area as well. Now, before I go forward, just have a look at the finish on this handrail here. That's nicely done, but it's also a clever design because it's not protruding out. So you've got lots of walkable space up here. It's social space too, but rather than having the handrail sticking up and digging into your legs, it's been done quite intelligently. So I think that's a clever design. More storage on the center line. Now this one's much deeper, and you could get, if you had whole boat covers or bigger fenders, they're gonna go quite well under here. And then we have storage under these as well. This one's got my filming kit in it, but it'll give you a bit of an idea. Perfectly dry in there, everything's protected, and no wind vortices underneath here, because as you can see, only 4 press studs holding this upholstery in place. Zero problems whatsoever. It didn't even, no wind down here, so it wasn't an issue. Got some drink holders aft, tucked in there and tucked in there. This is comfortable enough for this sort of thing. This is clearly more comfortable. And once again, if you're in moderate conditions, I would also run with people in this part of the bow, which is something I would totally avoid on many boats that you've seen on this channel, but totally, completely fine on this boat. Speakers, 1, 2. And let's check out the anchoring setup. So I'm just gonna open both of these so you can see. The finish is lovely. So I've just popped both those hatches. They've got rubber around them so they're not gonna rattle, but you can see the construction of the hull. It's stainless anchor to stainless chain and then rode. So probably, I counted, looks like about 5 meters, maybe 8 meters of chain, something like that. Couple of cleats just here and here. Let's have a look forward. Is this a pop-up? Oh, that's fancy. Look at that. So that's a nice fair lead, and then going to some decent pop-up cleats just here and here. But I like how that, can you just get close? Can you see that? See how that pops up and you get the line through there and then feed it to the cleat? That's very smart. We have windlass control from the helm, and we can also do it up in the bow. And then we've got a freshwater washdown on starboard, cleat here, and then dual access on either side, plus a safety. And plenty of clearance when we drop that anchor, so not too much of a problem there. So let's head straight into the storage. I'm not going to call it accommodation, because who's going to sleep on a boat like this? No, not too many people, I think. But if you, can you come this way, Rod? Why don't you go that way? And then, so just look at the hinge. Just pay attention to the quality. Once again, this is all metal. So that's a big stainless hinge on a metal plate, another stainless hinge. And so this thing has been designed to be rugged and go fast, locking like that at the front, so the leading edge is never going to pop out with wind and accidentally open the door in the ocean. It's been made to last. So let's just step down. And this is where your day is going to start and finish, because you've got all your main battery switches just here on this panel. We've got all our fusing, and then we've got keys for all the motors. I can actually just grab that camera and show you guys. So you've got all the fuses, the engine keys, and behind us, we have access aft. Look how neat that's all been done, of the dash. And then below, actually I'll give this camera back to you, Rod. I'll just show you all the batteries are in here. Can you see in there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 batteries. So the reason why we can sustain so many batteries is the alternators on those V10s. They're like something like 100 amps. Don't hold me to that, but they're making a lot of juice. So we can run the Seakeeper with these motors. We don't need, that's why we don't need a genset. So the amount of power that's coming from the alternators and the amount of power we already have in reserve on that lithium battery next to the Seakeeper just allows us to run it, which is pretty cool. And then we have all of the other batteries for house and crank. So just a little bit of access. That's going to be a switch off for your thruster, main switch off, toilet just here. Main breaker is the word I was trying to look for. Okay, 2 shelves in a drawer set up just in here. Quite a decent amount of storage forward. Again, I'll just grab that camera and take you guys with me. So I really don't see anyone ever sleeping on this boat. It's not the sort of area that you would even put a mattress. I highly doubt that you would do that. This is for storing rods, safety equipment, etc. And it's just a proper toilet. Then you can see the sump box below me, just there. That's going to pump overboard, and these stairs just here have got a grip in the timber themselves, which is going to give you a little bit of support. And there's your toilet operation just there, and the sink and vanity. So that's it, guys. This is pleasure right here. That's happiness. If you like the idea of this boat, if you think it's going to complete your boat life, we're going for a test drive right now. You're invited. I'm going to pop the link up on the screen somewhere right now. Click on it. That's a separate video to this one. If you like this content, do subscribe, give us a like. I really enjoy all the comments you leave as well, and I'll try and get back to them as soon as I can. Been a little bit busy the last few weeks, so I'm a bit slow, so apologies for that. My name's Dan Jones. You've been watching Dan's Boat Life. Thanks so much. I'll see you on the next one.